So here's an update on my trading portfolio, and we'll start with Real D, which has done nicely this week. You can see that the price has risen significantly, so that's doing well. So this is a nice example of a trend which the trend here of course went down, but the trend's reversed, and you can see that a rising trend is characterized by higher lows. So that was a low, of course. This is a low, this is a low, this is low, and these are all higher lows, and this is characteristic of an uptrend. So we've got higher highs as well, and it's just made a new high. So that's great. IPF, International Personal Finance, is rising. I went long on this last week, and it's risen this week, which is great. Lloyd's Banking Group is a short trade. I went short Lloyd's here, and it's just moved against me. So if it keeps going like this, I'll get stopped out next week. So that's the way it goes. Aluminium, again, I did this as a buy trade rather prematurely, as you'll recall. It hadn't actually gone up through the average of the year, but past 3 weeks it's been rising, including this last week. So I'm coming up towards where I bought it. So that's a good thing. See how that goes. The Aussie dollar has risen this week, so good news there. ITV, which I'm short on. I went short on ITV here. Of course, it moved back up, but this last week it's dropped down again. So, quietly hoping that will continue. The Brazil trade that I went long on somewhere back here has, in fact, no, I went longer back here, I think, actually, because a number of other Brazil trades were looking good, so I used this as a proxy for Brazil. So it's the VIX or ETF Brazil ETF, and I went long on it here, and it's been up and down, but this last week it's risen, so I'm in profit on that one. CenturyLink, again, I'm in profit, but this week it dropped back a little bit, so c'est la vie, as did industrial metals. They're still on the right side of the average for the year, but a couple of not so good weeks, so that's a shame. Oh, this is not so good. City Natural Resources High Yield Trust, again, maybe slightly premature for going long on this, but it has dropped significantly this week, so not so good there. SAB Miller, in an uptrend, but not such a good week for it. And Evraz has dropped back and is hovering around the 50 MA, so no significant change with that. Peabody, you recall last week I was in despair about Peabody Energy Corporation. This week it's not done anything much really. Perhaps it's risen slightly. It's ended the week slightly higher than the end of last week, so that's a good thing. You can see the candle really doesn't have any body, so the implication from that is that there's been a real inability for buyers and sellers to decide who's in charge. So some real just on a go slow there, which it tends to happen generally in charts around times of change. So one can see, for instance, looking in this downtrend here, of course there were weeks where there were good moves, and other weeks where the market couldn't really decide what was happening. And again, often the top and bottom of a trend are characterized by that sort of candle. So for instance, on this downtrend you could see the end of the downtrend was characterized by a very small candle, no real decision about buying and selling. So it could be the case that this last week was a sign of the bottom, and it will be nice to think that, because there was a low here and a lower low here. So I might be lucky and get away with Peabody Energy Corporation starting to rise again next week, so we'll see. My coffee trade, again, not a good week for coffee. It didn't quite hit my stop, and it has a candle with a tail on the bottom of it. So I said this last week, didn't I? Hopefully the price will rise next week, but if it drops much below the bottom of this candle, it's going to kill my trade. But yeah, it'd be nice if coffee were to turn around and start to rise again, but we'll see. Anglo-American didn't do much, again like Peabody Energy, a candle with no body, so hopefully a sign of indecision and things starting to turn around. So just hang in there and see what happens. So that's the portfolio. So hope you guys have a great week, and happy trading.